and I'm on the site quite often, checking the areas around our schools. And then with our current Raptor system, it detects when a person's driver's license is swiped, it will tell us if they're a registered sex offender, and our immediate protocol is they don't get access to anywhere in the building, they stay in the office. I'm contacted, a school resource officer is contacted, and we run them and verify that information, and then we just go from there.
Yeah, because based on what their requirement are, if they're there.
Correct, and I'm able to check, right, and the one benefit to the Colorado Springs police officers that are SROs,
Yeah.
they are attached to the sex offender unit,
Yeah.
and they're all dual role detectives.
Good.
And so they've been a great resource for me. I just call them, give them name, date of birth, and they can tell me what their probation is. I've even talked to probation agents as well.
Good, okay.
Now, Mr. Vieser and I talked at length about this next item, and this is going to be for lots of future conversations. But as we roll along, when we start talking about 1 year, 3 year, 5 year, 10-year plans, I envision having a force, security force, just like Academy School District 20 has. And I believe to get started, we've already done that by arming my position. And then in the next step, I would envision one security officer per zone. That way they could be part of a patrol process and trickle down into their feeder zones and conduct foot patrols, be a part of extra duty, if you will, or football games and stuff like that. And maybe we're not reliant on having 2 or 3 police officers at every game, but we can have our own armed personnel.
I do not have an issue with weapons where there is going to be protection of citizens and children. I'm not a gun nut, but I know the world is changing. And I say this when it happened in the East Coast. I don't think I can sit on this board and deal with 26 of our young people killed because we didn't do anything about that. And I know that's a sensitive conversation, but I would much rather have this hard conversation now than we sit here a year from now and we talk about why we didn't have something in place when we had 26 of our 4 and 5 and 6-year-old children shot because of some mentally deranged person. That conversation it's a tough conversation, but we have got to have that conversation as a school district. We have got to have that because, our children every day, they go into school and this district is responsible for them away from home. And we have to have something in place. And again, I would much rather have a system in place where I'm with the sheriff, and him and I don't agree on a lot of things, but armed teachers, well-trained armed teachers. I don't want anyone walking into the building and having access of killing our children, and we can do nothing about it. I'm sitting somewhere on my fat behind on Falcon watching TV. I cannot live with that. So something has got to be done. We have got to talk about it as a board and as citizens. We have to get rid of our fear of guns and put something in place so our children, our future is taken care of. And so that'll be something I'll be just talking to you every day about if I have to, putting something in place to make sure our children are safe. And that's what we talk about on this board, our children. And we are adults, our children, our future. Just put it in your mind, can you live with that? Can you live with someone telling you that 13 children were killed and we didn't have anything in place? I couldn't. I'm honest with you. As a 58-year-old guy in the Army and a law enforcement underneath my belt, that would totally destroy me. So.
Well, I'm there with you. I'm not a gun super, guy out there too. I have a concealed weapons permit and I have my own weapon. And but I would put a weapon in every single person in this district who wants one, and give them the proper training that they need to protect it away.
And that's what I was going to say. I've spent 16 years in the military, and 14 of those have been in special operations, SWAT team, in the police department, and firearms instructor. And it's all about the training. And I would want to be a part of that process because I know what it takes to get there. And I certainly wouldn't be willing to put any weapon in anyone's hand that isn't well trained, because that could be a big liability for the district as well.
It's a conversation they gotta have.
Absolutely, and I think I mentioned this to you before, I've partnered up with District 20 and they're willing to help train and be a part. Since I'm a trainer and instructor, we will work together and train our staff, but again, it would be an extensive background check to include psychological background check. It wouldn't just be, criminal, it would be all those.
And the chief's gotta be in on that conversation also.
So it's something for further discussion.
I have a question for you. On the security, if we had our own security force, how much would, and maybe Henry's kind of more the expert on this, I'm not sure. If we did do something like that and put a security officer in each one of the zones, would we need that response? Would we have to repay that full response place for El Paso County for the response stuff? Could we augment those funds? And if we have security force in place, then we
Roger.
could just call in the extra 5 or 10 minutes for them to get there.
Oh,
We
you mean
would
the
need
SROs that we're not paying for now?
Yeah, we're not paying for them now,
Yet,
true, but I'm
but
sure that's
future,
gonna come.
yeah.
We'll look at
Could
that.
we do it?
We can take a look at that.
Yeah, let's look at that
Again,
later.
nothing beats a good sworn law enforcement officer that can enforce the law, making a lawful arrest. But it's certainly,
Exactly.
like Henry said though, if you can meet force with force, if that ability is there and present, then it's a good thing.
Well, and I think that your point here, when you're saying armed security, one officer per zone, is to increase the number of staff total, not replace what we have in place. So, like, if you were to do a swap of, okay, well, we're gonna use the SRO fund to do this, then essentially you're not gonna get much more than a 1-for-1 there. So you haven't actually increased the staff. So you're really looking at saying we wanna add additional people, not
Well, I would
change that
also,
structure.
it could either be an increase or it could be just like myself and Mr. Gross have discussed. He currently has a part-time security position, and we're talking about filling that position with someone who would be certified and qualified in the event that in the future we wanted to arm them. So as our force is depleted by resignations or whatever, we would start the hiring practice under that premise that we could arm them in the future if that's what we chose to do.
Why don't you look at your pool of retired law enforcement and deputy sheriff? Those folks are retiring at a pretty good rate now, and you don't have to do a lot of training with them. They're already certified. They're
Absolutely, I would, one thing I would say with that is we would have to take a look at our salary scale when it comes to security officers,
They
because
retired, them guys can work.
they are, our security staff is, in my opinion, grossly underpaid for what they do. And it's something we would need to, if we're gonna put a weapon in someone's hands, we would definitely have to increase their pay.
Okay.
Okay, a couple more things. I know I'm running over here, but we got some good stuff. The next one I've taken to Mr. Beezer. This was brought to me by local law enforcement. And Mr. Allen, as you well know, in our professions, you never want to leave a hot zone when it's hot. You don't want to leave and go into a cold zone to grab your long AR rifle. So their proposal is that we provide a gun safe and locker in all SRO's offices where they're double locked.
Yep.
And the safes would either be mounted to the ground or to the wall. They would carry the AR in a covered case. You would know, obviously you'd know it's a rifle because it's a rifle case, but it would allow them to have that immediate meet and force with that force in the event that someone brought a rifle into our schools.
And shotgun.
And or shotgun, depending on what kind of
Both.
long gun that
Yeah.
they want to
Put
bring
both
in.
weapons in there with additional ammo, with a push button switch, where they don't have to try to remember a
Right.
combination. Whatever
And
you're supposed to do.
I've guesstimated this to be about $1,200 for all three high schools,
Okay.
about $350 per safe with, the install. So I wanted to bring that to you, that Mr. Beezer and I have already discussed. And the last thing I have on here is, you probably saw a lot of the stuff came out on Facebook in the news about the evacuations, and I'm gonna focus on the positive stuff. We had a lot of great things happen. One thing that we could improve though would be our communications, and so I'm gonna be looking to purchase a bunch more of our command radios. These worked tremendously. When I was running out of this building, I was able to get a hold of transportation on the emergency channel and immediately start dispatching 5 to 7 buses immediately just because of that communication. My goal is to try to increase these throughout the district. Currently, there's only 2 of these in every building, and that's for the admin staff. But I want to add more so that we have that additional communication as well.